I want to share my screen. So with this Tuesday meeting with Rainmaker, I try to keep it about marketing. And this time I want to talk about more on instructor-based marketing, also calling it selling from the floor. So these people are already in your program, but because of your instructor being really aware of what people's needs are, what programs you have, they can really do a lot of selling subtly from the floor. And I kind of divided this up into revenue generating from events, inventory, upgrades, add-ons, renewals, retention, and testing. I just got off the phone with Charles Jarnigan. He was saying that he's got a buddy week all this week. Well, that's kind of an internal event. That's an internal marketing event. We've all done that. Some people have gotten good results. Some people get fair results in that. We ask people to bring in friends. Because kids probably only have 1 to 3 good friends, it's really difficult for them to participate 100%. So if you had an event last month where it has a buddy day, they brought in their buddy, now they're asked the same buddy again. So sometimes it's hard to get good participation. So when we start talking on the floor, it's really up to the instructor to not only build up the excitement of the event, but get people committed to coming to the event. It's a little bit different than if I said, hey, who's coming to the event next week and going to bring a buddy? Everyone raises their hand because they want to feel part of it. Everyone wants to know that they're contributing. Everyone wants to be one of the positive guys. So everyone raises a hand. Next week you have your buddy day and 2 people show up. So as an instructor, we have to take the time to get some type of commitment from the kids. Okay, who's coming to buddy week next week? Kids raise their hand. Keep your hand up if you're bringing a friend. Now, a lot of kids are going to drop their hand. That's okay. The kids who raise their hand, you got to put them on the spot. So your instructor's going to, hey, David, I think it's great that you're coming. Who are you bringing with you? Now, if David's really bringing a friend, he's going to say someone's name. If he's not bringing a friend, he goes, I forgot his name. Okay, David, that's okay. Maybe you can talk to mom and she can remind you who you're bringing in. So you're going through that and you actually get a commitment. So this may take 3 minutes of class, 3.5 minutes of class. That's okay, but it's really going to improve the results. So this is a task that it's up to the instructors. Again, you want the instructors to make it seem really, really exciting, but at the same time, we want some type of commitment. So if you have a program director, now your program director is getting this list from the instructor. Hey, I was talking about class, we're talking about the buddy day, and these 5 kids say they're definitely bringing friends, and I've got these 5 kids who would want to bring a friend, but they don't know the name. So maybe you can give them a call and talk to their mom and say, your child raised his hand for buddy day, say he's bringing a buddy. Do you know who he's going to bring? So now it's just not by chance that people are going to show up. You're actually working off a list, confirming that people are going to show up and calling those people who are kind of on the fence and asking them who's coming. Then if you want to send out a Rainmaker a waiver and have everyone sign a waiver, so now you've got name, address, phone number, you got all the information you need. And this waiver doesn't have to be a real long waiver, but it's just the parents giving permission for their child to take, have the opportunity to train in your buddy day. So it's non-threatening. People don't have to worry about signing their kid's life away. It's basically just a permission slip. But so your way of getting the information ahead of time. Now when you have this information ahead of time, you can call and confirm. We just want to make sure that David's ready for buddy day. Here he's coming in with his buddy. He goes, yeah, he's really looking excited. Well, we want to make sure he's comfortable. So if he can wear just some type of loose pants or even shorts and a T-shirt, he's going to be good to go. And if you'd like to come in and watch, we'd love to have you. Part of our school's uniqueness is we love parents supporting their kids. In fact, we have a VIP seating, which is for very involved parents. So we'd love to have you come in and watch the kids and see exactly what to be learning in martial arts. So now your instructor's not selling by taking in money, but he's selling the whole excitement in the idea event, and he's collecting names and numbers. So now your program director can do his or her job. Next thing you can do is help with inventory. When you're an instructor on the floor, you should be recommending that everyone has all the right gear for sparring. The picture I put on this post today was my two twin grandkids, 7 years old, with all their sparring gear on, watching class yesterday. They weren't taking a sparring class. They were so excited about getting their sparring equipment. They had all the gear. They had their hands, the feet, the helmet, everything on, just watching their older brother take class. Kids love to have the gear. It's really, really exciting. So as an instructor, I want to make sure all my students have the proper gear. They have the weapon that's best for them. So you may be doing the weapon of the cycle, and it's a bow staff, and you know that this 8-year-old would do much better if he had this lighter bow staff. So now the instructor is recommending the proper weapon and the proper gear that they need. Also, I just noticed my grandkids, especially David, is in a growing spurt. I was watching him do a tournament last week, and his pant legs are probably 6 inches too short. So the instructor should be recommending, hey, David, man, you're growing really fast. Let me talk to your mom for a second. And then he should go and talk to the mom and say, hey, David's growing really, really quick. I don't know if you noticed, but his uniform is getting really, really short. We're putting in orders on this coming Friday. Would you like to order some new pants for his uniform? You don't have to get the whole uniform, but we can order the pants separately. And T-shirts, especially with summer coming up. Kids love to wear T-shirts in class. Kids can buy one T-shirt. When I had my school, I was bundled, so kids could buy 3 T-shirts at a time. This way, mom doesn't have to wash the same T-shirt between every class. They have extra T-shirts. But again, this isn't sold by people looking at stuff in the pro shop. This is sold because the instructor on the floor is talking to the parents or recommending to the kids that they either need new gear, updated weapons, a better weapon for their size, uniform because this one's stained or this one's ripped or just outgrew it, and something like T-shirts. So whatever you're selling, the instructor can help that happen from the floor. Now, upgrades. People come in, they're on your basic program, your welcome program. The next thing you want to do is talk to these kids about going into the leadership or Black Belt Club program. Well, the instructor is pre-framing this through the entire class. He's talking about the Black Belt lifestyle. See, in our martial arts school, we have the Black Belt lifestyle. Not only are we learning the punching, blocking, kicking, but we're combining all the life skills. We're leading a healthy lifestyle. So by pre-framing, everyone's thinking that, hey, you're just not a martial arts in training. You're a future black belt in training. You're here because not only do you want to get shape or learn self-defense, but you want to develop the lifestyle of a black belt. So we're kind of pre-framing everyone. This isn't short term. This is how you're going to train for the rest of your life. Students aren't white belts. Students aren't yellow belts. They're all black belts in training. So when we're in our stances and I'm talking to the kids, I go, hey guys, this is kind of weird, but this is a white belt class. But I want all you guys to act like black belts because you're black belts in training. You know, some of the techniques of black belts do take a long time, but we're training today in that yell you have and that horse stance you have. I mean, you can act like black belts today. So again, we're training them to think like black belts. This isn't some short-term thing we're doing in martial arts. Our goal is becoming black belts in martial arts. The next step in this process, of course, is to join our leadership program. So you may just be congratulating all the students. Hey, guys, I know a lot of you guys are going for your yellow belt. That's the next step, man. Once you get your yellow belt, now you qualify for doing the leadership program or the black belt program. This is your next step in part of your goal setting. So you're creating anticipation. So the instructor may not be actually signing the contract or selling the program, but he's really pre-framing the thinking of the students. So now the students and the parents are thinking black belt. Okay, I see the difference in this school than other things. Kids have a long-term goal. They're trying to create a different type of lifestyle for my child. This is how my child's going to get confidence, self-esteem, and lead a stronger life. So the instructor is constantly talking about the black belt lifestyle, and this leads to more successful upgrades. Another thing we can talk about is add-ons. Add-ons are different programs or different opportunities you students have besides your core training. Now I'm looking at Johnny Karate here. I know Johnny in his school, he does Hyper. So Hyper is an add-on program. Some of you guys have weapon cycles. I know some of your schools have competition teams. All these things are add-on programs. They're done in addition to the regular program. Well, if I want a lot of people in my add-on programs, in other words, I have 200 students and I'm looking for 45 or 50 of these kids to go on my Hyper program, I'm constantly on the lookout for students. I want to make sure I'm looking for their progress. I want to make sure I'm talking to them about stepping up or resetting the goals. I mean, you're an awesome student, David, and I'm watching your class. You know, I think you have what it takes to go up another step. And another step would be our Hyper training. So I'd like to invite you to try one of our Hyper classes. I think it would be just amazing if you start setting some new goals. It could be that I'm teaching class and I've got 5 Hyper students in my leadership class. At the end of the class, I go, everyone sit down. Hey, Hyper guys, can you just show these guys what you've been learning in Hyper class? Man, I'm so proud of you guys. And you got that new jump kick and that new trick. Let's do it. And now you put on a little demonstration at the end of the class, spotlighting these 5 students that are in Hyper. You don't have to sell your program. You just have to present it. Guaranteed there's going to be some kids watching that and go, yeah, that's what I want to learn. And the parents will go, how are my kids going to learn that? So just by spotlighting this group during a regular class, people are going to come to you and say, you know, how do I get my child involved in the program, or how do I do that? So got to make sure that you're constantly doing this, and also mention what members of the add-on program need to meet or need to bring to class for the next meeting. So I'm doing a leadership class. This is my regular class. This is my main upgrade program. At the end of the class, I go, okay, everyone, got to see you next week. So we're still working on the material we need for stripe testing. And guys, if you're in Hyper, this time I need you to bring your bow staff, because we're going to be doing some spins with the bow staff. In fact, this is what we're going to be showing you next week. You do a little demonstration on the bow staff spin. Guys, don't forget to bring your bow staff. Well, again, that's another subtle way of promoting your Hyper program. You're telling the Hyper kids, and all of a sudden, some of the kids in your regular class go, man, it would be pretty neat to learn that stuff. I wonder how I get involved. So this is your instructor on the floor selling the program. Again, he's not taking the cash for it. He's just selling the excitement so more people want to participate in that program. In addition to add-ons and upgrades, we also do renewals. These are people who may be on your regular 2-year program, and now they're finishing that 2-year program, and you want to get them on another 2-year program. Well, your instructor should be doing in-class evaluations. In-class evaluation should be, you know, I'm ready to teach class. I go over to David, and David's mom would go, hey, David, you're coming up to the end of your program. Today, I'm going to be doing an evaluation. During that evaluation, I'm going to evaluate you on 1, your enthusiasm, 2, your technique and stances, 3, on your excitement and level of participation in class. So what you're going to have to, I wasn't really prepared for that, but you're really going to have to decide 5 areas that you're going to evaluate this person. The reason you're telling them ahead of class is, 1, by doing an evaluation, they're going to want to know how they did on the evaluation. By telling them what you're evaluating them on, they're going to be trying harder in those things. So now the parents are going to see an up level of their training, their enthusiasm, their energy, their stances, everything that you're looking for in the evaluation. At the end of class, hey, David, Mrs. David, you know, you did really good today. I've got quite a few notes. I'd like to get these notes together. Can we set aside 15 minutes to talk next week about what I discovered today? She's going to say yes. And now all of a sudden you have an opportunity to go over the progress and recommend that now's the time to renew. This will be your next step. This is how long it's going to take for you to continue on. And we're going to be setting a date for that black belt testing. If you're doing black belt testing twice a year in your school, you want to make sure that after classes, you're saying, hey guys, if you're on the next cycle for the Black Belt Extravaganza, the next time we meet is this. So now you're giving the anticipation of coming up for the black belt extravaganza. If someone's towards the end of their program, now's the time to talk to them about renewing. So just creating that excitement in class for people for renewing, again, now your instructor is selling from the floor. One of the things we want to do for retention is get everyone excited for the next class. One of the things I thought I did pretty good when I had my school is I would build a drill, and I build a drill until students failed. So in other words, we're doing roundhouse kicks. I got an intermediate class. So we're doing some roundhouse kicks up and down the floor, back leg. And they're going to do some roundhouse kicks off the back leg, slide into front leg. Then we're going to do a back leg, slide into front leg, spin and do a roundhouse kick. And then we're going to do pop-up roundhouse kicks. And then maybe we're going to do some jump spinning roundhouse kicks. Now, by the time we get to the jump spinning roundhouse kicks, kids are going to start failing. In other words, this is too much for them to handle. They're only intermediate students, and so all of a sudden the quality gets not so good, or they can't even try it. Now I would go on to the next part of class. But the whole thing is, a couple of people are going to get it, and so they're going to try harder. Other people are going to get really excited. You know, I did the back leg roundhouse kicks. I did those really good. The front leg roundhouse kicks really good. Then when I started spinning, I had a little bit of difficult. When I jumped, you know, I couldn't quite keep my balance. But this is really cool because I'm excited about this. I'm learning something new. And now I anticipate going back to the next class, so now I can master it. So that'd be one of the things your instructor could do in class to get people becoming excited about the next class. I got it. Wow, this is really cool. I wish I had a little more time so I could really get it, but that's okay. There's always next class. Another thing about your instructor selling on the floor is each class has to be a reason. There's got to be a reason I have to be in the next class. And the reason for every class is, of course, people are preparing for stripe testing. The reason I have to be here next time is because I'm not here next time. I'm not going to make my requirements for classes. I'm not going to have all my curriculum. So it's really important that I'm there twice a week. I have to be there twice a week in order to be ready for stripe testing. So every class, there's a reason. It's not just to come to class because I like coming to class. Of course, that is a good reason. But the instructor has to give me the mindset that I've got to be here next time. Hey, you got to be here because next class you're going to review the old material and you'll learn that new self-defense technique that you need for strike testing. So to sell retention on the floor, we want to make sure the students are all excited about coming to the next class. Guys who have been with me for a long time and see me teach in my school, I would end up the class with, you got to be here. Hey, you got to be here next week because today you learned the first part of your curriculum. Next week you're going to learn the second part of your curriculum. And maybe next week you're going, hey guys, you learned all the curriculum for your new strike, but you got to be here next week because next week we're going to do a review. Hey guys, you got to be here next class because next class we're going to do a practice stripe test. This is going to make sure you're ready to pass your stripe test. So you got to be here. There's no excuse. You got to be here because that's what you need to get your next stripe test. And then your instructor is always making sure everyone's ready for testing. There seems to be a percentage going around the industry that 80% of the people should be testing on a quarterly cycle, if you do testing on a quarterly cycle. I think that's a good goal. But when you're talking 80%, there's still 20% of the people that are discouraged because they're not ready. So the way your instructor sells on the floor and making sure everyone's ready for testing is to watch everyone. If someone is starting to slip, either in attendance or in performance, it's up to the instructor to make sure that student either gets some private classes, gets some extra help, is assigned a SWAT member or leadership member to help them. The more people that are testing, the more students that are seeing progress. The more students that see progress, the higher the interest is. The higher their interest is the higher their attendance is going to be. So it's really about testing. If people are ready for testing, they're seeing progress. If they're seeing progress, they have high interest. If they have high interest, you have more attendance. and that all leads to retention. So instructor responsibilities, besides just going out and teaching the kickbutt class and kids having fun, the instructor should be selling on the floor. He's responsible to make sure that the events are full. He's responsible for making sure people are buying their gear, their weapons, their uniforms, their t-shirts. He's making sure everyone's thinking big about martial arts training. They're thinking about the black belt lifestyle. When you go to sell a student on a 2-year program, 2 years isn't a long time because they're buying into the black belt lifestyle. They know it's going to take a while, so they're committed. If you're doing add-on programs, every time you sell an add-on program, they're paying about 1/3 of what a regular student is paying. So you get 30 people on add-on programs, that's like getting 10 new students in your school. Have add-on programs, make sure the instructor is looking for prospects, he's talking to prospects, he's recommending trial classes, he's spotlighting the groups, he's doing some type of demonstration, but add-on programs is being shown in your regular core program. Renewals, in-class evaluations are so valuable. Again, it's giving you a reason to get someone in your office. You're not just calling someone and say, hey, the program's all almost up, let's talk. Now, that works with a lot of people, but doing class evaluations, now people have to come back to know the results. They're going to try hard. It's almost like I have to qualify to get renewed. So make sure the instructors are doing that. And again, next class. Why is it so important that I come to the next class? I got to be there for one reason or another, and it usually has to do something with stripe testing. And again, the results of your program is how many people are qualifying for testing on a quarterly basis. If people see testing, they pass their test, they feel good about themselves, they know they're making progress, they have high interest, and they're going to continue being active members at the school. Do we have any questions or comments? Anything you'd like to add to this?
Yes, sir. Hey, mind if I take a second?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I really like they have to be qualified to be renewed, but it's kind of like a different mindset because, I mean, when do you suggest that we do the evaluation to renew them?
I just talked to one client today. He goes, he has 64 people that need to be renewed between now and September. I told him today I wouldn't wait. I would start doing them now and think of some type of incentive because sometimes it can be very difficult renewing someone in July or August. They're on vacation. They're getting ready back to school. The mom goes, hey, I know he's up for renewal, but this is his first time in 6th grade. I want to make sure he does well in school. So I would try to do anyone who needs renewing between now and at least back to school. If it wasn't that, I would try to do it at least 30 to 60 days out. If you do it farther than 30 to 60 days out, there has to be some type of incentive. In other words, you're talking to a mom or dad, they go, hey, all this sounds good. I know he's going to want to continue, but his program isn't up until August. We're still 4 months out. If there's some type of incentive, the client I talked to today, we kind of came up with a plan that if people renew early, he was going to give them 2 weeks of summer camp as a benefit if they did it now. So that doesn't really cost them anything, but it's a good benefit for the parent and the student.
Yeah, I mean, if they end up in September, it could be 2 parent sign-outs, 50% off birthday party, like to get all this stuff.
Yeah, it could, I just know it's really important to do it now because I know a lot of parents would be saying, I'm definitely going to do it in August, and then all of a sudden August comes and they're not sure about their schedule, this and that, and then they put it off. I'd rather give them $100 off now and have everyone sign up than having a few people wait to the end. So it could be a financial thing or it could be something like free camps.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other comments? If not, just a reminder, the event down here in Boca for Black Belt Schools International and for Rainmaker clients is going to be the 22nd of June. So if you want to put that on the calendar, and it's a financial summit. So we're going to talk a lot about finances. We're going to talk a lot about savings. We're going to talk a lot about planning for the future. We're going to talk a lot about protecting your assets. So this isn't open to students and staff members. It's open to owners and key staff people. Because I don't want you bringing people then get upset if we're talking finances in front of your staff members. So this is going to be one of those meetings that's going to be to the core, and it's probably some things that you don't want your junior instructors learning. But at the same time, we want to make sure that you go back. I'm finding the one thing that a lot of school owners are really looking for is improving their adult curriculum. So I was talking to Steve Del Castillo. He's got his Krav Maga program. So I love to have him do a little teaching. I love to have Steve Baxley come down and do some kickboxing drills. Just something more modern for you to bring back into your adult classes.
Looking forward to it, sir.
Anyone, I see Tom Baker there. I was talking to Tom Baker's son, and we're just talking about how to get more adults doing like a trial class, because I was thinking about setting up a mass intro. And I was saying, hey, I'm watching Hackelman do a video on throwing a left hook, and he had like 7 different ways of throwing a left hook. I could promote that all day long to my adults, learning how to throw a left hook and come up with the most devastating knockouts and things like that. I could get a ton of adults coming in, bringing their buddies, just learning to throw a left hook. So see if we can come up with something for that for the program also.
How much is the event?
$149.
Okay.
$149. We're going to start doing events quarterly in Florida. I want to do a lot of events. I want to keep the costs down. I know everyone would like one in their part of the country, but when it comes to, most people have to fly to some type of event. Florida's not a bad place to fly to. It really reduces the expenses of me bringing speakers in and things like that. So I'm going to start doing them quarterly in Florida.
How about West Coast?
I know you can say that, and then Tom Baker's going to say, how about Arizona? Kemp already asked why we don't do one in Tennessee. So we'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I will
Thank you, sir.
record this and post it on the Rainmakers Business Solution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ask you a question before you leave.
Sure.
Did you get my email?
Yes, I did. I sent it back.
Also, I was looking now.
And I gave you my text because it's much easier and much faster if we just text back and forth.
All right, 100%. Thank you so much. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
I'll text you in a little bit. Thank you.